On his campaign website, robforenvy.com, Tellis called Gehrman's May article false. He said the article was intentionally gut-wrenching. On June 18th, Tellis tweeted this out. Wife hears rustling in the trash. Her, honey, is there a wild animal in the trash? Me? No, dear. Looks like it's Jeff Gehrman going through our trash for his fourth story on me. Oh, Jeff. Tellis graduated from UNLV's Boyd School of Law in 2014. In 2018, he ran for Clarke County Public Administrator as a Democrat. He won and took office in 2019. And tomorrow morning, Sheriff Joe Lombardo will be holding a press conference right here at Metro's headquarters. Reporting live, Lauren Martinez, Fox 5 News Local, Las Vegas.
And we will carry that update from Metro Sheriff Lombardo live tomorrow on Fox 5. Again, it begins at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Well, if you guys haven't been paying attention, what a hell of a story coming out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Press conference actually did happen today in which we got details behind the murder of that reporter, Jeff Gehrman. He worked for the Las Vegas Review. He was a veteran investigative journalist. He was stabbed to death, had the alleged killer's DNA underneath his fingernails, and he had defensive wounds. A prosecutor and a judge said Thursday at this accused man's initial court appearance, it's very scary when a journalist gets murdered. But needless to say, Clarke County Public Administrator Robert Tellis, 45, he was arrested Wednesday in connection with the killing of Review Journal reporter Jeff Gehrman. This was days after the reporter was found stabbed to death outside his home. Outside of Jeff Gehrman's home, he was the reporter who was found dead outside his home. He had Robert Tellis' DNA underneath his fingernails. Tellis has been denied bail. He was denied bail at a court appearance. He said that Mr. Gehrman had been stabbed 7 times and that he had Robert Tellis' DNA under his fingernails and called the DNA detail quite chilling. Apparently, this DNA was alleged to have been recovered from the hand of the victim, presumably during the time in which he was fighting for his life. A report also showed that Gehrman had several defensive wounds on his hands and arms. Again, he was stabbed to death. Robert Tellis, he did not speak during this hearing today, and he was not asked to enter a plea. He wore a dark blue jumpsuit and appeared in the courtroom behind a window looking straight ahead while handcuffed. The sheriff said that this was a terrible and jarring homicide that has deeply impacted the city of Las Vegas. This one was particularly gruesome. Sort of brings Nicole Brown Simpson vibes, doesn't it? Investigators also discovered blood on a pair of shoes that had been cut, likely in a manner to try to destroy evidence. They also developed video evidence. Video evidence that seemed to capture Tellis' vehicle leaving his house before and after Gehrman's killing. This vehicle was registered to Tellis' wife, was also seen at Gehrman's house at the time of his death. It was a GMC Denali parked in front of Tellis' home. It departed around 9 a.m., according to police, right? They just wanted, police said they really, really wanted to take Tellis into custody as safely as possible. Surveillance footage also released over the weekend showed a suspect wearing a straw hat, an orange shirt. Investigators found a matching hat during a search of Robert Tellis' home. The hat had been cut in an effort to also conceal evidence. Tellis was seen on a gurney, by the way, after suffering self-inflicted wounds, although the police did not describe that, what those wounds were. But they, they they had like a long simmering beef, again with Mr. Gurman being a reporter and with Tellis being an elected official in Clarke County in Las Vegas. So, to kill an elected, well, he lost the election, right? But to think that he got so mad that he went and killed the reporter who did 4 stories on him. I don't know if this guy ever dug through his trash, but there was a lot of tweets. A lot of tweets. He called this reporter, Mr. Gurman, a lying smear piece, a one-trick pony. Said that he thinks that that reporter was mad at the time because he hadn't crawled into a hole and died. Called him a typical bully. Said he can't take a pound of criticism, and this is what Tellis tweeted. Up to article number 4 now. You'd think he'd have better things to do. The newspaper editor said that Tellis's arrest was at once an enormous relief and an outrage for the Review Journal newsroom. And they did thank Las Vegas police for their urgency and hard work and immediately recognized the terrible significance of Jeff's killing. It is making waves around the world, I might add. But the victim's colleagues were instrumental in this investigation. Early on, authorities were focused on making sure that Gurman's death was not linked to a burglary, in addition to looking at any work-related grievances or conflicts. They knew that there was an investigative reporter that had written several articles, and there were different allegations and statements about potential people that would be upset about it. The Review Journal was instrumental in providing information that helped investigators, particularly in outlining what cases Gurman was working previously and currently. Robert Tellis, he even washed his car this past Tuesday outside his home in Vegas. Authorities actually served a search warrant on his home the following Wednesday, obviously, right? And then took him into custody. But for some reason, I don't know why, he made it a point to back that Denali up and wash it outside his home. Here, I'll show you a photo real quick. It's a photo of him washing his, the same car, by the way, that he supposedly drove to the reporter's home in which he killed him, allegedly, of course. I would, you never know what people may do, right? You never know. Anyway, the investigation remains ongoing. Authorities are still following up on several leads. They're putting to bed any other allegations, and I'm sure that this story will be on your closest ID channel. It'll be on your closest ID channel, okay? Because, man, on top of all of this, right, you got Bill Barr's fat ass, okay? Big fat Bill Barr out there campaigning for Donald Trump, of course, because he's in allegiance with Donald Trump's clout and money. That weird wife of his sitting next to him. I hope all of these jokers go to prison for their crimes against America and their treason. One can only hope, right? But he's hoping that a judge's decision to appoint a special master gets appealed. This over the classified documents. The whole classified document situation with Donald Trump. As if classified and top secret material Some material, it has been talked about, that it contained information regarding the capability of other countries' their nuclear capability, basically. If the country, and these were also of some hostile places to the United States. So if Donald Trump was to somehow get that information to these said enemies, right, of the United States, how could it help them? Oh, they'll know everything that the United States knows. There could be people's lives in danger from what is going on in the secrecy behind all these classified documents. You let some of these secrets out, right? And some of these top secret documents, if Donald Trump has already sold them or plans to sell them in the future, or try to use them even as a bargaining chip to try to avoid prison, right? Or anything, right? Would these secrets expose actual people on the ground? People who may be working as spies, people that may be working directly or double, double spies even. It gets really confusing when there's triple spies, people that literally spy for, 3 or more countries. There are those that have done it. But imagine those lives that could be in danger if some of these top secrets come out. And they're going to be like, well, how did this information? Oh, and people haven't had a chance to get out the way, take their families into safety, nothing. Just think about that when it comes to these classified documents, man. I mean, Donald Trump has did all this stuff. I just can't believe he's still running around campaigning, right? There's a lot of pressure, they say, to indict Donald Trump. Can't believe that it takes this many people. Oh, it does. On top of that, Steve Bannon got indicted, okay, which was interesting. This is somebody who is still part of Trump's inner circle who also got a pardon from Trump.
Keeping track, Donald Trump is not the only one up to his neck in legal jeopardy. The rest of Trump world has its own fair share of problems, and today's focus is Steve Bannon. The former Trump advisor and current far-right podcast host surrendered to New York authorities on Thursday morning. Bannon faces an indictment from the Manhattan District Attorney's Office stemming from its fraud investigation into the We Build the Wall fundraising campaign. The charges included money laundering, conspiracy to money launder, and scheming to defraud. Now, this state case largely mirrors a 2020 federal fraud case that charged Bannon for his role in We Build the Wall, a fundraising scheme that pulled donor money by promising that donations would support construction of then President Trump's border wall. The We Build the Wall campaign raised over $25 million in donations, but the campaign's leaders used hundreds of thousands of dollars of that money for personal expenses, including Steve Bannon, who allegedly used nearly $1 million for himself. In August of 2020, the United States Postal Service's investigative unit arrested Steve Bannon under fraud charges while he was on the $35 million yacht of an expatriate Chinese billionaire.
Man,
that criminal
listen.
case, well, never went to trial.
He got a pardon from Donald Trump. He got a pardon in federal la land that doesn't cover state cases. So that's why it's a state case, I believe. Anyway, listen, I've been posting, there's been an episode launching every day up on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'm on Google Podcasts and Amazon as well. Let me just put this up really quick. Shout out to the Leak You community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. Yeah. Make sure you join us over there. If you want to listen on the web or whatever, I'll throw a link in the live stream chat for you. Hey, Gloria, what's up with it? If you guys haven't had a chance, check out Roll a Mile in My Shoes TV as well. Gloria has got that true crime rocking over there. Got the true crime, that true crime rocking over there. Been dropping stuff pretty regularly too. But yeah, man, look at this incredible yacht.
Why? Because in the final
So
waning hours of his
disgusting.
presidency, Donald Trump pardoned Bannon along with a number of his other allies, thereby saving Bannon from accountability and possibly the rest of his life in prison.
Yep.
But Trump's pardon only protected Bannon from those federal charges.
That's it.
It did not stop a New York State's own fraud investigation into Bannon and We Build the Wall. In this new Bannon indictment, well, in response to these new charges, the man who allegedly stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from Trump supporters, he calls the charges, quote, phony, and he wrote, they are coming after all of us, not only President Trump and myself. Steve Bannon's boisterous defense tactics might work in keeping his audience plugged in, but despite what he says, those handcuffs are real and the charges are real, and he doesn't have a Donald Trump pardon to rely on now. Joining me now is Kyle Cheney. He's a senior legal affairs reporter.
Oh, it's just that I want to see Donald Trump, get perp walked. You think that the police will allow Donald Trump to avoid a perp walk? Oh, shoot. Y'all think that they'll let old Donald Trump avoid a perp walk? I think we'll get some sort of footage. Some sort of footage, I think. If it ever goes down, right? We'll see. Y'all, I'm out of here. Make sure you catch the podcast URL that I threw in the live chat. I think I put it in the description of the video as well. Search Leak You on Anchor and Spotify. And I'll see y'all soon. Till next time.